RSMeans and E4 Clicks have been business partners now for 7 years, and it's been a very positive relationship from RSMeans' standpoint, and we trust with 4 Clicks as well. It's really helped Means expand our product offerings into the job order contracting market, where we provide consultative services to help owners get their programs up and running. And we really didn't feel that we had a strong enough software solution for clients to manage the program for their general contractors to provide quality estimates. And so E4 Clicks has certainly surpassed our expectations in terms of not only the quality of the product, but the reception that our clients have told us and enjoy using this particular piece of software, which is quite robust, and I can say handles and addresses Means in the clearest, most concise manner of any of our partnering organizations. So we much enjoy working with 4 Clicks, and I think as you go forward, you'll see Means in the presentation that's given. You'll see Means like you've never seen it before. It's been reformatted, so it's easier to use, and it only expedites the process of developing your cost estimates. So with that as my comments, I will pass it back to Nick. I guess and David Snedeker will talk about e-takeoff. So thanks very much for having us.
Excellent. Thank you, Bob.
We both say thanks at the same time. Thanks, Bob. This is David, and welcome everybody. As Bob was saying, we also have a partnership with E4 Clicks that have been many years now. Very great product. Our integration is really nice. One of the things about e-takeoff is it allows you to take off your projects very quickly and accurately on electronic drawings. You load the drawings, saves everything for you automatically. No paper needed unless you want to print paper to go to the job. We have multiple types of features in the program. We're only going to cover a couple here today. One of our big features is called pattern search. If you do any electrical or mechanical work and you need to search for items, pattern search allows you to search it. It'll find it for you on the drawing and point it out to you so you can count it quickly and automatically. We trace on the drawings, kind of like you might do on paper, where you pull out a ruler and you measure, and then you trace back over that with colored pencil or highlighter. Well, we do all of that all at once. As you point and click on a drawing, we put the trace, we put the color on, we keep track of the quantities, and we do it all for you so you don't have to do any of that. We show measurements in infinite colors. You can see on that slide there's multiple colors that show up on the drawing. We'll do this live here in just a minute, but infinite colors and variety of colors and shapes and all sorts of stuff you can do to help visually know what you're doing. That's really beneficial. You see it, it's colored, you know it's taken off. You can also total and combine measurements of multiple types across all drawings on the project. You got a multi-floor project where you've got the same carpet or equipment or whatever it is, doesn't matter. You can total it all up on the whole project and then transfer those quantities right into the E4 Clicks project estimator. So let's talk a little bit more about some detailed information in the e-takeoff. We have the 3 main pieces that we want to show today are extensions. It says extended measurement calculations. What that means is when you measure on the drawing, it's really a 2-dimensional measurement, meaning you can measure a length, you could count something, or you could measure square feet. Extensions attach to a measurement and allow you to extend the 2-dimensional information into 3-dimensional information or even multi-dimensional, meaning let's say I take a square foot of a carpet. I could actually turn that instantaneously into square yards, or I could measure the length of a wall, add the height of the wall, and get square foot of the wall surface. Or concrete. I could measure concrete. I could put in the depth and get cubic yards as well as square feet. So that's what extensions do, and we'll do a couple examples of that here in a second. Quantity worksheet is kind of like an assembly worksheet where you build a set of assemblies to accompany your measurements. Carpet, for example, I'll stick with carpet and concrete. Carpet, I could measure carpet, turn that automatically into square yards, and then my assembly function could calculate if you needed pad, you need adhesive, you need what kind of base you need, so on and so forth. So it could calculate all that for you in an assembly, total it up, and then again transfer into E4 clicks if necessary. And then pattern search, the auto counting function we spoke about, we will do a quick pattern search and show you how that works. But first, let's go ahead and talk about extensions and quantity worksheet, and then we'll do our pattern search. So Mr. Nick, if you'll give me the desktop, let me see if I remember how to do this. Let's see. Share my desktop. Share. There we go. Okay. You should all see e-takeoff now. Okay? Now, e-takeoff, again, I've loaded an electronic drawing. I can easily set the scale. I can set the scale, click on a scale, drop down, whatever, calibrate scales, all sorts of stuff. But let's just do some simple measuring. Okay, so I'm going to measure some carpet in a room. All I have to do is come over to my list. This list is a list that I've created. This comes out of that quantity worksheet. These are my assemblies that I can use. And this is just a short list, but you could have assemblies for any kind of item. So I've got multiple carpets here, 1 through 6. I'm going to just go ahead and double-click on carpet 1. I'm just going to point and click and measure. And as I do that, it pulls the trace color out, shows me that color so I can see it on the drawing. My extension data is over here, so I can say, okay, I've measured this carpet area, but I want to also measure the base at the same time. So this extension will take the perimeter length around that measurement, subtract however many doors I type in here. So it subtracts 1 door, and then I tell it what kind of base it is. Is it rubber base or carpet base? Or if I'm doing ceramic tile or porcelain tile, I can say it's tile base. So I'm going to say rubber base. Then it calculates the base length, which is the perimeter minus 1 door times 3 feet. So I get that's my total base length of rubber for that measurement. And I can go on and keep doing that multiple times. For example, I can come up here and say, well, let's say there's carpet in here and so on and so forth. As I do this measuring, I also get a legend that shows up on the drawing with everything I've done. So again, I can come through here, 1 door, base rubber, boom, boom, boom. Now, this information is now stored in that quantity worksheet that we're just going to look at right now. So quantity worksheet information. Here's that same structure here, but here's where all the measurements are stored. So there's my carpet. I got 300 square feet of carpet, which I rounded up. This allows me to round up to the nearest 10 square feet. It automatically calculated adhesive. I need 4 gallons of adhesive based on my formula of coverage of I get 75 square feet per gallon. And then it also calculated rubber base because I chose rubber. Both of those rooms had rubber, so there's my rubber base. So that's done. Okay, so now also, let's just do another quick one of these. We'll talk about another extension, and then we'll move right into pattern search. So let's do a concrete. Let's just show you how this works really quick. I can show you a couple of things. So I'm going to call it flat work. I'm going to zoom in. This is a bank building, and these are the 3 concrete islands that go through the drive-through, and then there's a canopy that goes over that. Well, if I'm going to calculate flat work on this island here, I've got to do multiple things. I've got to do a curve right here, an arc, and I've got to take these columns out that hold up the canopy. Here's how it works. It's pretty simple. You point and click. Curves, all you need is 3 points, 3 measurement points on a curve. 1 at the beginning, 1 at the middle, 1 at the end, shortcut key, and it calculates the curve for me. And then again, 3 points on this end, curve, 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 3 points, shortcut key. Now I need to cut out these columns because I don't need that in my flat work. Shortcut key, and then I can measure the cutout counterclockwise, and it will automatically cut that out and subtract it from my square feet. Oops, mistake. Backspace, easy to cover a mistake. Shortcut key again, and then I measure this counterclockwise. And as always, that's kind of crooked or off, but I can go fix that later, or I can spend more time up front doing that. Here's my concrete. I want to put in the depth. Let's say that's 8 inches, and there's my volume. Let's go to our worksheet now, see what our results are like. And I've got, here's my concrete, I got flat work, I've got my square feet, I got my cubic yards, and I got the perimeter that's set up for forms. So very quickly, very easily, you can take multiple types of measurements, takeoffs on your entire project, get the quantity results, and move that into E4 Clicks. Let's do a quick look at pattern search, not on a grading plan. Okay, pattern search. Let's say I want to search for a fire smoke alarm. What I can do is zoom in on that symbol. Here's my smoke detector, my fire smoke detector. I can simply draw a box around it using my pattern search toolbar. So I tell it I want to take a pattern search. I draw a box around this. It gives me a window that says, okay, what do you want to do with this? You want to search for it? What do you want to do with it? What do you want to review? I want to review every symbol on this drawing that matches this original, this one, 75% match or greater. I can do rotations if I want. If I know, maybe I've got outlets that rotate, I can search for 4 rotations on the drawing. I can even exclude anything that I've already counted on this drawing so it won't show up. Once I click search, it's going to search the drawing. It's going to give me a results page where I can look at and review the results. Search, and converts the drawing very quickly to a different format so we can search on it. Then it gives me my review window. Here we go. So I've got several ways to review this. I can double click on each one. It'll take me right to that one so I can review it. I could review on the drawing and look at them all at the same time. So, for example, review on drawing, I can just zoom out and see where everything is. So I can go through, zoom in, look around. I can do that. Now, let's go back to that review window. You also have the function of extending this out. And I'll show you why when I extend it. These are smoke alarms. These are heat. And then there's one other here. But if I extend this out, I should be able to see the one. There's an auxiliary contact. So we actually keep track of almost everything behind the scenes so that you can drag these out and then search more. I could even do a refined search within this. I could search within this search window and count everything. So here's how you count. I'm pretty confident these are all my smoke alarms. This is a heat. This is an auxiliary, so I'm going to uncheck those. I'm going to count everything that shows up here. Is that one? Yep, that's one. And I'm going to assign those to my quantity worksheet. So I'm going to assign those to smoke detectors. There's a smoke detector. I'm going to assign it there. And then I'm going to just go ahead. There we go. I'm going to save these as smoke detectors, and then I'm going to continue. What continue means is it's going to save these and get rid of them in my window. So click, boom, save. Those are all saved as smoke detectors and marked. This one's an auxiliary, so I can say, okay, I'm going to save this one as an auxiliary and go ahead and save and continue. And then this one's a heat. And then, okay, there's the heat. And now I'm going to save those and finish, and boom, I'm done. There's everything I got counted. If we go to my worksheet and we look in that section for fire and safety, here we go. Got a heat detector. It calculated for every heat I need a base and I need 4 screws. And it calculated my 17 smokes and my auxiliary. Everything's calculated, very quick, very easy, searches and counts it for you, basically. There you go. Thanks for letting me present this. I hope it was beneficial. I hope you can see the power of eTakeoff. And now what we'll be able to see here shortly is the power of E4 Clicks. Thanks, Nick.
Thank you, David. So before we get into what the E4 Clicks Project Estimator is all about, I'll give you a little bit of background about E4 Clicks for those of you who are unfamiliar with our services. So we were founded in 2001. Our team's experience with facility renovation and repair includes serving as cost estimators, engineers, and project managers. And that's how we arrived at our tagline, by estimators, for estimators. So as you'll note from this next page, we have experience serving over 85% of U.S. Air Force bases. We also, through our partnership with RSMeans, have been able to serve folks in higher education, county, state, local government, numerous Army, Navy, and other government agencies. What's great about our work with these areas is that contractors and owners are drawn to our software for its ability to allow folks to organize, standardize, and collaborate electronically. You can also create templates that auto-populate with project data. You can run all of your contracts from a single application and automatically link estimates to specifications. In addition, as I'll show you more clearly in a few minutes, we also provide the best representation of RSMeans cost data in the industry, which is complete with over 400,000 detailed line items. And I'll go for you real specifically what that means as I open up my project estimator, which I will do right now. Let me drag it over to the screen so we can all see it. So what you're looking at now is how owners can manage multiple contracts, such as Jock, Sabre, IDIQ, as well as manage your contacts, your contractors, and your customers within a single project. So in a project that has multiple disciplines, for example, concrete, structural, finishing, flooring, you can have multiple estimators working together within E4Click's Project Estimator harmoniously. It's also great as we have features that allow you to easily copy and paste projects as well as update them, which allows contractors and owners alike to save time because instead of reproducing your project over and over again, you can simply copy, paste, and update based on your city cost indices, etc. So what I'm going to do for you is something real simple. I'm going to start a simple Jock project, and I'm going to do a renovation of a conference room. So for a project name, I'm just going to type in something like Caro J 2013, something that makes sense to me. In the description, if I'm doing a conference room, I'm just going to write renovate conference 20 by 20. I'm going to hit OK. Right now, I'm in the project side of E4Click. What I'd like to note in this window is we have a motto at E4Click's Project Estimator, and that is, when in doubt, right-click. So when I right-click within this program, I can find things to do with this project. So if I'm processing it, I can look for my my totaling components, et cetera, within that scheme. I'll look at my Jock totaling components, my city cost index, et cetera. So within the estimate side of the project, which we're looking at now, you'll see that in the top right-hand corner, we can open up a gamut of RSMeans data, as well as whatever guide you have, GSA schedules, etc. But for this example, I'm going to open up my 2012 RSMeans facilities guide. Now, when you open up facilities, those of you who have never used an RSMeans software package before, but you use the book, most people come to what's called the index. Now, the index is what's found in the back of the book. With a simple hotkey, Control-I, I can open up my guide index and begin searching for line items. The first item that I'm going to look for in this example is a dumpster. So I'm going to simply type in this locate field, DUMPS, find my dumpster, and snap to that in my guide. Now, if I'm looking at my drawings and know that I want a 10 cubic yard dumpster, I can simply find that in my database, double-click on that item, fill in the quantity. If I know this project's going to take a week, I can hit OK. And now that line item's in my estimate. Rolling through, if I see loading and hauling with a 50-foot haul hand carry, and that makes sense to me, I can double-click on that item, fill in that I'm going to finish or fill that dumpster, and submit OK. Now, for those of you who don't want to use the guide index, but you want to use the guide navigator, we can simply come to this window. We can drill down pretty specifically by divisions based on what I'm looking for. So if I'm looking for maintenance of flooring, and I want to find my carpet maintenance, I can locate that item in my guide. If I want to, for instance, demo my carpet, I can just scroll down, look for that item. If I find it and I'm looking at carpet bonding, including surface scraping, I can tag that line item to put that into my estimate. So what I'm going to show you now is something that I find absolutely incredible in E4Click that allows me to save a lot of time as an estimator, is that we have the ability to be able to tag a bunch of line items, including your line item modifier, and be able to put those into our project while adjusting for quantities at one time. So it just helps you save time and be able to find line items quickly. So I'm going to roll through this very quickly. And the next line item that I'm going to look for is my demo for my code base as well as my code base corners. With those items tagged, and I'm just using my space bar to tag those items, I'm going to roll back to my index. Now I'm going to search for new nylon carpet. So I'm just going to type in nylon carpet, snap that in my guide. It's a 26-ounce medium light traffic carpet makes sense for my project. I can tag that parent line item. Right now I'm going to show you something called modifiers. Now what a modifier is, and this is something that sets us apart in the industry, is a modifier adds to or takes away from the value of that parent line item. Now, located below 26-ounce carpet, we have something here that says for less than a full roll, approximately 1,500 square feet, to add this line item. Now, the reason why there's a modifier for this is because if I go to a carpet manufacturer, Lowe's, Home Depot, etc., I can't buy a full roll of carpet for the same price that I can less than a full roll. So there's an added cost for that. Additionally, we'll see costs for borders and patterns, as well as brand name specific fiber. So I'm going to tag those line items. Back to my index, I'm going to search for my code base. So I'm simply typing in code base. I'm going to tag 4-inch high, as well as my code base corners. Now the last item that I'm going to look for is final cleaning. And the reason why I'm looking for this item is because, as you'll note, it has a unit of measure of MSF. Also at the bottom of the screen, we can view a full description of our RSMeans line item written in plain English. On the right-hand column, you can see the crews, which is what RSMeans associates for a particular line item. You can see the daily output, the labor hours, unit material, labor, equipment, etc. So I'm going to tag that line item. Now with the Control-P command, I can bring up this neat window, which allows me to adjust for quantities all at once. So first, each, if I remember those are my code-based corners, so I'm going to type in 4 and quantify. Linear feet, I can type into this field like I would in Microsoft Excel, so I'm going to type in 20 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20. Submit process. Now I'm going to get out of this window. I'm going to save my estimate. I'm going to show you how we can report on this. So I'm just going to tag my estimate, and I'm going to come down, and remember this is the project size, and I'm going to roll down to report and print estimate. As you can see, there's a variety of ways in which we can print out a full estimate report. Now, if I want to put out an estimate detailed report, I'll click on this little icon. As you can see, we can go to Microsoft Excel as well as Adobe PDF. For this example, I'll go to PDF, hit OK. You'll see right in this window that they're attaching specifications based on the master format spec process. Let me open up this file and drag it over to this monitor. And on the first page is a full list of a division summary for our estimate line item. You can also note that we see our totaling component as well as our material, labor, and equipment totals. You can also note that we track green line items. So it's a great way to organize your project and just see how things are adding up based on the division level. Next page, you'll see a detailed list of our totaling components as well as our city cost index. For those of you that are unfamiliar with the city cost index, those are the 925, I believe, cities that RSMeans researches locally to localize that cost data. Next page, we have a detailed report of our line items, including our, what I'm hovering over right now, our takeoff for that particular line item. You can see, as I suggested before, the full crews, which RSMeans associates, as well as quantity, materials, labor, equipment, etc. Scrolling through this estimate detailed report, we'll come to something called the specifications list. Now, the specs list is pretty interesting. It's telling us that we have environmental protection based on our demo vinyl base and carpeting. One better than that, if I roll back to my estimate, I run a different report, I can throw together a full spec package in just a few seconds based on my line items. Now, this is something that really sets us apart in the industry and provides us with a tremendous tool to save times with respect to throwing together that spec package. Let me bring over this window. bring it up full screen. And rolling through, you'll see our environmental protection notes, as well as our demo, our vinyl base, and our carpeting. So I know that I was running through everything real quick, but I was able to show a little bit about the power of Project Estimator. Before we end today's session with questions, I just want to show you how eTakeoff can work with Project Estimator to associate for cost. So what I'm going to do now is simply tag the project that I just created. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste a new project. And I'm just using Control-C, Control-V, just like I would in any Microsoft program. I'm going to clear out my takeoff field, any notes that I have with those projects. Great. So with an empty project, I'm going to open up that. I'm going to go to this field, my query, and search for my materials that involve square feet. So I'm going to tag all of those line items. I'm going to modify them with eTakeoff. So I'm right-clicking in my quantity field. I'm going to click Grab Quantity from eTakeoff. As David noted earlier, you can pull down any type of drawings, electronic format that you have within Project Estimator and eTakeoff. And I'm just simply going to mark up eTakeoff and try to get the correct quantities for this classroom that I'm renovating. So as you can see, by holding down the cursor, I can get real specific with my measurement. And just something that helps me save a little bit of time. Again, this is a real easy takeoff that I'm doing right now. As David showed you a little earlier, you can get as advanced as you want within eTakeoff. So I'm going to copy that measurement, and I'm going to return to my estimate with quantity. I'm going to right-click in this field. I'm going to put in my totaling area, submit process. You can note here that you'll see our original, which is our $0, because we haven't priced those items, and then you'll see what those items have been modified to. So I'm going to apply. So I roll through my linear feet line item. I can tag those items, and I can do the same thing. I can hit Control-M to modify, right-click in this field, grab my latest eTakeoff data, and grab my perimeter. So I just wanted to show you how eTakeoff can mold with Project Estimator with respect to RSMeans cost data. So I hope I was able to show you a little bit about what we do for E4Click, as well as RSMeans and eTakeoff. Right now, I'll open the floor up for questions. If you have any questions, you can address them to either myself, Bob Gare, or David Snedeker.